guys, my name is Angelina and I am a social media specialist with Online Media Solutions. I'd like to talk with you for just a few moments about social media and the impact it can have on your community if you are working at an animal shelter or a volunteer or part of an animal response team during a disaster-related event or emergency such as a wildfire or a flood or a tornado or a hurricane. Social media is so impactful that it can help you become a resource for your community before, during, and after those disaster-related events. Social media is such a valuable tool. It can not just help reunite lost and found animals with their families, but it can also help educate community members before, during, and after a disaster-related event. You see, in October of 2017, the area in which I live was absolutely decimated by a wildfire. That wildfire at that time was the largest wildfire in California's history. 6,000 structures were decimated. People's homes, everything that they had worked for their entire lives were gone. They didn't have work now because their office spaces had burned to the ground, and 22 people lost their lives. I was the contract social media person for Animal Care and Control, and like so many other animal shelters at that time, we all wanted to do something to help. We just didn't know what. So we all got this brilliant idea. If all we could do was help reunite people with their lost and found animals, that's what we were going to do. And over the course of the next 30 and 60 days, we successfully, with a large volunteer presence, reunited 245 animals. Once the disaster was officially declared over, we were instructed to write down everything that we had learned, positive and negative, pros and cons. So then that way, if by chance we were ever to go through this again, we would be able to have a foundation or a structure so that we could become more efficient. We could also use this information to share with other shelters or animal response teams that were just then being created so that we could all work together and literally be on the same page. It's hard to imagine, but the very next year, around the same time, another wildfire hit. This time, our neighboring community. It was called the Camp Fire, and over 85 people lost their lives and 18,000 structures were destroyed. The animal reunification efforts through the local Animal Care and Control were very similar, just on a much larger scale. It's hard to believe that this could happen once in a lifetime, but to have it happen twice was just unreal. In 2019, we experienced flooding right at the beginning of the year on an unprecedented scale. And several months later, we had another massive wildfire where 200,000 people were evacuated from our area. This time, however, we had community animal response teams or disaster animal response teams that were assisting local agencies to aid in the efforts of reunification, evacuation, and sheltering. It is so hard to imagine, but in 2020, it happened again. The LNU complex fires hit our area so hard and decimated all of our resources. Our local Animal Care and Control and our animal response teams went into action and helped with evacuation, reunification, and sheltering efforts. Almost 1 month after that fire had been put out, another fire hit our area hard, and that was the glass fire. It decimated 1,500 structures, some of which had just been rebuilt from the fire in 2017. The animal reunification, sheltering, and evacuation efforts were stronger than ever at that time. During all of these disasters, throughout all of these years, social media has become the main communication tool to ensure community members have timely, accurate, and up-to-date information available to them 24/7. So after all of this, after working as the social media contractor for local Animal Care and Control, I was asked to speak at a national virtual conference for social media and disaster-related events. And that's where this idea came from. The feedback from this virtual presentation was such that animal shelter representatives were asking, why isn't more information like this readily available? How can we learn from what you learned? And that's where I got this idea to create a webinar to help more animal shelters, to help more animal response teams learn what we learned from a social media perspective. Social media can help your organization become a valuable resource to your community before, during, and after a disaster-related event. And that's what this webinar is all about. The live webinar schedule is located on my website, which is www.onlinemediasolutions.biz. To receive a 50% discount, use the code AAWA. Please feel free to share this far and wide. I want everybody who's able to be able to attend this webinar. If the cost is still too much for you or your organization, please just send me an email. My email is angelina@onlinemediasolutions.biz, and let me know. I'll discount it for you to where it becomes affordable, even if I have to make it for free. I want this information to get out into communities so that it will help more animal shelters, help more animals in need. If you work at an animal shelter, or if you volunteer for an animal response team, or if you know of someone who does, please help us get the word out by sharing this video with them, or just letting them know to go to the website onlinemediasolutions.biz so that they can learn more about this live webinar and the opportunity to learn about social media and disaster-related events. Thank you for watching this video, and if you're interested in learning more about social media, please subscribe to this YouTube channel and remember to give it a thumbs up. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.